Welcome to Showoff Showdown! In this series, the fighters are called Showoffs, and this is the series for the Showoff Showdown! Now let's meet the Showoffs for tonight's showdown, shall we? Tonight, we have a battle of the best. The two men who make the impossible possible. That's right, Solid Snake versus Leon Kennedy. When these two lock in combat, only one will walk out alive. I put links to the analysis on both characters in the description below. Now without further ado, it's time for the Showoff 2 Showdown!
Get ready for the next battle. Fight!
Well, looks like Snake was just too solid for Leon to handle.
Now let's discuss how and why Snake wins this hardcore Konami vs Capcom showdown. First off, let's discuss who is more skilled and experienced. Now I think we can all agree that Snake has more experience, though as for skill, it's relatively close. Leon is trained in a Russian martial art called Sistema, which mainly focuses on using pressure points and joints to disarm the opponent while wielding knives or guns, while Snake is trained in a very similar close quarters combat style, which too involves disarming, weapons, and hand-to-hand combat. Although Snake's style of combat is arguably more versatile than Leon's, but in general, they're both quite closely skilled opponents. Now let's discuss speed. Now while Snake and Leon have shown numerous bullet dodging feats, Snake has shown much more impressive speed feats, as he has dodged sniper bullets, missiles, and even avoided electrical discharges. Now some people are probably gonna bring up Leon's supposed laser dodging feat, but those lasers were actually more like tripwires, which were locked in place, rather than lasers or projectiles actually being fired at him. So Leon wasn't really dodging as much as he was carefully maneuvering through them, so this laser feat isn't really as impressive impressive as it sounds. Now let's discuss durability. Now, Leon is pretty tough, being able to survive a car crash with hardly any damage, and tank hits from enormous bioorganic monsters, some of which can bend and break through solid metal. Now, as impressive as this is, Snake has shown to be even tougher, as he has tanked multiple close-range explosions, and even survived his way through a giant microwave chamber, which was said to be capable of vaporizing anyone within its range. It has been estimated that to vaporize a human body completely would require around 3 gigajoules of death ray energy, which is enough to completely melt 5,000 pounds of solid steel or simulate a lightning bolt. I think that's enough to tell who can tank more than the other. Now let's discuss strength. Now this one is a little more debatable. I will start by saying that Snake is strong enough to lift a jeep, which is relatively similar to Leon's strength feat of holding open the jaws of a zombified great white shark, which can have the bite force of up to 4,000 psi. Trust me, I used to study sharks all the time when I was younger. Anyway, Leon has also shown to be strong enough to move a giant boulder estimated to weigh roughly 9 tons. And to back it up, Leon has also fought Chris Redfield to a standstill, and Chris has too been shown moving boulders of equal or greater size, so it's consistent enough. So far, it seems like Leon holds the strength advantage here. Now, here's where things get a little heavy. A lot of people seem to think that Snake should have the strength advantage because he's a clone of Big Boss, and therefore should scale to him, and Big Boss is pretty darn strong in his own right. However, sometimes direct scaling can be pretty misleading, and in some cases, a clone is not always as strong as the original. Now, while it is true that Snake has fought against Big Boss a few times, but their fights mostly involved weapons such as guns, metal gears, or a can of hairspray lit on fire, and there was hardly any fist fighting at all. So there's not much evidence that shows Snake's strength comparing to Big Boss. Now, we could argue that Big Boss trained Snake in hand-to-hand combat when he was young, but even if that's the case, I highly doubt Big Boss went all out at that time, as the teacher usually goes easy on the student while training as they progress. Basically, it's unlikely that Snake directly scales or is just as strong as Big Boss. And if that's the case, then I think it's safe to say that Leon holds the strength advantage here. But who knows, there might be something I missed, and if there is, let me know in the comments below. Now that we've covered physicality, let's discuss weaponry. Now, Leon and Snake both have a very wide arsenal of weapons consisting of knives, pistols, shotguns, rifles, machine guns, automatics, grenades, etc. Now, Leon's most destructive weapon would most likely be his RPG-7, but not only does Snake have one of those, but he also has plenty of other destructive weapons, including several different missile and grenade launchers, some of which have rapid fire, lock-on, and other modifications, and not to mention a railgun, which is basically a handheld tank. Needless to say, Snake has a much wider variety of different and more destructive weapons to choose from. Now, not only does Snake hold the majority of advantages over Leon, but he also has quite a few hacks that'll make the fight even harder for Leon as well. Not only is Snake's stealth practically unmatched, but combine that with his suit's camouflage functions and he's virtually undetectable. Even thermal and night vision can't detect him. Now, if this battle takes place in a dark room or somewhere similar, then Leon is pretty much screwed. Even if he's used to dark places, Snake would be able to detect Leon's presence just by sensing his heartbeat alone, and that's not even factoring in Snake's solid eye, which pretty much eliminates all of Leon's options for hiding or stealth. Oh, and let's not forget the cardboard box. Can't forget that. I think I've said enough. So overall, while Leon and Snake are both closely skilled in combat, and while Leon might possibly hold a strength advantage, but with Snake being faster, tougher, having a wider arsenal, and just too many hacks for Leon to handle, I think it's safe to say that Snake has the right gear to get the job done. So in the end, looks like Snake's victory was pretty solid. The winner of this battle is Solid Snake.
Got any ideas for Showoff Showdown? Then let me know in the comments below, and hopefully, I just might do them. Now stay tuned for the next episode of Showoff Showdown!